Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exclusive interview here on Pro Wrestling Ponderings. My name is James Lascuola, and today's guest has been really lighting it up in the world of WWR+. She has a huge match coming up at the soon-to-be-coming Say You'll Be Here. It's Ashley D'Amboise. Ashley, how are you doing?
Hi, James. I'm doing well. Thank you for that intro. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing tremendous. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot to talk about this afternoon. So shall we dive straight in?
Let's do it.
Well, to start off, I had to make a point to mention the phenomenal background you have with Team Adams, who's really churned out some incredible talent over the years. What drew you to Team Adams as a pro wrestling training facility?
Well, the funny thing about that is he doesn't even like to call it, I guess pro wrestling training facility, he's never specifically said. He likes to call it like a private club. So it's hard to just join it. You have to know someone who introduces you, and then you kind of go in and check it out, talk to him, maybe do a warm up, and then you see if it fits or if this is actually what you want to do. He kind of shows you the reality and explains the reality right then and there. You either take it or leave it. Honestly, it's not just a school where you can go and kind of decide that you want to work. If you decide you want to go there, you're all in and you're doing this as a career choice, not just I'm going to see if I want to do this or not. You decide before you commit.
Wow, that is... Oh.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I guess I just got in because of a friend introduced me, and I liked what he had to say.
Well, I mean, that is a lot to respect with the dedication aspect of that, because, I mean, for real, like, this is the wrestling world. It's like, they say it a lot, you're either made for it or you're not. And that's a great sort of measuring stick to figure that out.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like time is everything. Don't waste my time. Don't waste your time.
And I mean, that club sort of ideal. I mean, you gotta admit, there's some tremendous members of that club, such as Diona Purrazzo and Tasha Steelz. I mean, do you feel that there's a high standard to hold yourself to, being just based solely on the alumni of Team Adams?
Absolutely. And we're reminded of it every day.
Now, who else in Team Adams would you say we should keep our eyes on?
I think everyone in there is fantastic. So I think that you'd be missing out if you didn't keep your eye on the team in general. It is a small team, so not too hard. And all of us are at, all the women pretty much are at WWR+. So just keep watching WWR+, and you'll see us all.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've looked down some of the list of people, and I mean, I've seen a lot of familiar names out of WWR+, and it makes sense, just that talent pool of WWR+ that just keeps bringing it every show.
Absolutely.
Now, not only have you gotten the opportunity to be a regular at WWR+, you have had the opportunity to work with All Elite Wrestling. How would you describe your experience in AEW?
Just wow. Blessed. I don't know. Just being there is such an eye opener, and being able to network and be around the people that you want to one day see yourself in the position of. I believe in like surrounding yourself with people who you can take yourself to the next level with. And that's where it's at, whether it's with the women who are driven and ambitious at WWR+, or the people and the energy that's happening in the progressiveness of AEW. It's like, I want to surround myself with that so that I can become that. It's been incredible. It's been inspiring, and it's just been a huge opportunity all around, whether I'm there and I have a match in the books, or I'm there and watching QT's new puppy, Buttercup. It's just being around. I don't know. Have you met Buttercup yet, or have you seen or heard of who Buttercup is?
Personally, I have not.
What? James? Okay, so it's all right. This is a new thing. Buttercup just came around. Second debut on a loop. He's on Sammy's vlog if you check it out. He's a Shar-Pei mixed Cocker Spaniel, aka a mini hippo, and he's like 10 weeks old, and I got to be with him all week in Pittsburgh and just melting my heart.
That dog sounds absolutely adorable.
The cutest.
Well, I mean, in AEW, you've gotten to work with some pretty big names, and just to name a few, I mean, you've gotten to take on former women's champion Nyla Rose, as well as two people who are pretty strong mainstays of the original WWR in Penelope Ford and Chris Statlander. Are there any women on the roster that you'd like to face in the future?
Oh my goodness. All of them. I want to face all of them. And specifically, I would love to wrestle Serena Deeb. I know that she's recovering. She's well on her way to coming back in the ring, but that would just be, she trained with Damian Adams. So there's that connection there. My first time going to AEW, Damian was like, you better go say hi to Serena. So I did, and meeting her and seeing her live and just getting to kind of get to know her a little bit back there, I'm like, that would be just a dream.
Well, I mean, on a list of opportunities that you've had through the year, I mean, you've recently gotten to compete in the ECWA Women's Super 8, making a strong push through the tournament. How would you rate your performance in the Women's Super 8?
Oh my goodness. James, that was really difficult. That whole experience. I've never done a tournament before until that point, and I honestly didn't think I'd make it past the first round. I was like, this is wild. There's a lot of women there that I haven't met yet, but I've studied. The fact that I made it to the third round is just incredible. I actually haven't even gone back to watch those matches yet. It takes me a minute. It takes me a while to like go back and watch what I did before I can process it. So I don't know. I feel good about it. I think I did give it my all, and yeah.
Well, I mean, absolutely. I mean, for your first tournament, making that strong push to the finals is a tremendous feat, and truly, I have to commend you on that. And I got to bring up your opponent in the Super 8 finals, someone who's also, and according to my notes, from that Team Adams pool in Megan Bain. What was it like wrestling a fellow member of Team Adams in the finals?
Well, the good thing is, like, I am familiar with her, with how she thinks, with her style. We've worked together really well. I think we have really great ring chemistry. But I've been recently moved to the Nightmare Factory. I'm training under QT and Cody right now. So there are things that have been, we've both been training separately now. So there's some things that I wasn't ready for that she's doing now, and things that I think maybe she wasn't ready that I know how to do now. So it was kind of cool to have a little bit of surprise there, a little bit of nuance that wasn't there, that like we haven't had the opportunity to have before because we were constantly training together.
Well, wow. I mean, with this new training set, I'm sure that the next time around you're going to be even more deadly with some new moves up in your arsenal with that Nightmare Factory training.
There we go.
Now, as we shift towards WWR Plus, I mean, you are a part of a strong core roster since the first show. I mean, how would you describe the rest of the locker room at WWR Plus?
We're all pretty focused. I don't really know everyone there. Like I said in one interview, it reminded me, my first experience there reminded me of the cast of Glow, because I had just watched that show before I joined that roster, and I was like, oh my god, this feels like the cast of Glow. I'm on my own TV show here. The women there are extremely supportive of each other, and we work well. It's a friendly competition kind of an energy, and we all just want to see each other put out their best foot, from my understanding, from my take and impression.
Yeah, truly. I got to say, as someone who's been watching this relaunch very closely from the first show, it feels like every person on that WWR Plus roster brings something of their own to the game. It's like, it just feels like such a diverse talent pool of women in the wrestling space, and I'm looking forward to seeing that pool grow with each show.
Me too.
Now, who do you consider to be the one to beat in WWR Plus?
Well, I take it one step at a time, and right now I'm focused on Sunday. I'm extremely excited to wrestle Jordynne Grace. I remember back when I first joined Team Adams, I was getting a lot of study material, matches to look at, things to emulate. And of course, a lot of those matches were of Deonna Purrazzo. And one match that stood out so strong in my mind whenever it came back to like studying or going back to, my roots or whatever, was with Deanna and Jordynne Grace. They have a match together in Impact. And it's funny because I came into the wrestling world late, so I didn't really know who she was until I saw that match, and she stuck in my head. And then after my first experience with WWR Plus, I did an interview, and the woman was like, you would do great, like, wrestling Jordynne Grace. Like, I can see you guys wrestling. And I was like, you know what? I would love that, because I actually know who that is, and I've studied her. And here we are, full circle, like, mind blown.
Oh, truly. I mean, I got to agree with that comment because, I mean, you and Jordynne both have that similar, just pure athletic style in the ring mixed in with that regular, wrestling base that just works so beautifully in the ring. But what does this match this coming Sunday mean to you?
I'm not sure how to answer that. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, as far as, just this point in your career, facing someone as established and as traveled as Jordynne Grace, like, what would a victory in this match mean to you?
Man, I'm not even letting myself think that far ahead. I'm not. I'm just taking it one day at a time and doing my best. I don't want to think about the outcome, but it would be incredible. It would really have to be. I mean, I have never even met the woman yet, so that would be a huge milestone in my career, like, hands down. Not even trying to get too excited.
I mean, just going into this match, what's your strategy to come out with the victory against Jordynne Grace?
I can't tell you my strategy. I can tell you after.
All right, fair game. I'll let your moves in the ring speak for you. So yeah, I mean,
there we go. I take it one step at a time. I am very reciprocal, so I'll see what she puts out there, and then I'll bring it up one notch.
Well, we wish you the best of luck going into your match with Jordynne Grace. But looking at the wrestling world at large, I mean, you've taken on the aforementioned, Chris Statlander and Trish Adora, who's also going to be in probably the big match for WWR this Sunday. But do you have any dream opponents that you'd like to face down the pipeline?
It just in the world?
Oh, absolutely, yes. Just anywhere in the world.
I would love to take it back home and wrestle Deanna Purrazzo.
Oh, wow. I mean, Team Adams versus Team Adams. Someone who's just at the top, too, just like that Jordynne Grace level, who's currently Impact Wrestling Knockouts champ. I mean, that would be a massive match.
Absolutely. No doubt. I definitely think that after I wrestle Jordynne Grace, maybe I'll feel a little bit more prepared. But that would be an intimidating match for sure.
Oh, most definitely for any wrestler, for sure. But Ashley, as we turn the corner in this interview, what's one thing that you always keep in your gear or your travel bag?
In my gear, as in, like, what I'll wear and show from design to design?
Or rather, what you keep on you on the road, something that you need while you're out traveling on the road.
Oh, some sort of, these are, I'm gonna start, this is gonna be superficial, James, but my hair is very important to me. There's a certain hair product that I use and a way that I style it that if I don't have it like that, the way that I wrestle feels so different. Like, your hair is an extension of your body when it comes to, like, wrestling, and even in dance, coming from my dance background, if your hair isn't on point, then it, like, throws off the way that you move in general. So I would say my Monet products. I can't leave without them.
Oh man, I mean, I 100% have to agree with you there. I mean, it's like, wrestling is a big, just the in-ring bell to bell is obviously a big deal, but also, I mean, looking the part too is also another big deal in the world of pro wrestling. And I mean, like you mentioned, hair is also an extension of that. That's why you've seen so many different wrestlers over time with some of the most different hairstyles, I'll say.
It's important, man. It's sports entertainment. It's not just a sport.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Now, while you're out traveling on the road, is there always one spot that you have to stop at, be it a food place, be it amusement, be it somewhere to stretch your legs? Is there just one spot on the road that you always find yourself at?
A gym, definitely a gym. There's, whatever company I'm wrestling for while I'm on the road. There's always one other person there that is a gym rat and will come with me. We'll find our way into a gym. Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I'm glad you brought up the gym because I mean, obviously in the wrestling world, you have to sort of keep ring ready in top physical shape. And fans of yours will know that, you are, a bit of a lifter yourself. But I'm curious, what is one of your gym pet peeves?
Oh my goodness. When people want to have conversations at the gym versus get work done. It's like, I come in and I'll be on my phone for a certain extent just to like put up a post or like do a boomerang just to kind of like keep updated on like, okay, I'm doing my thing again. But then if it turns into like a full blown conversation, whether in person or on the phone, usually if someone's calling me and I say I'm at the gym, they understand. Like if you're calling me, you know me well enough to know, oh, she's at the gym. I'll call her back in an hour or something. But I would say, yeah, I mean, I don't even mind. There are some people that have pet peeves of like, oh, they didn't wipe off before they left. Or, I mean, I guess if it's like excessive, if they don't re-rack the weights, that would be a big pet peeve because it's just like a bodybuilder respect thing. Like you use the equipment, you respect the equipment, you put it back where you found it, and then you move on with your workout and everyone's happy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as someone who's been a member at a bunch of different gyms myself, I got to say, the one thing I could kind of contribute to this conversation is when people will hog up a single machine, just like not even just like doing multiple sets, but I mean, using their phone, just kind of
Okay, yeah.
lounging around. Like, I just want to get to the squat rack. Can I please have my turn?
That's when you go, look, bro, I've been timing you. It's been longer than your 90 seconds to 2-minute rest recovery period. I'm going to need you to either step off or let me weave in because I feel you on that. Like I'm guilty of hogging up the machine, but it's because I'm doing supersets and like 5 sets of each. So it's like 10 sets total, but I'm switching between this one and that one. If you want to work in with me, you can, but I'm going to be on this machine for the next 30 minutes. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes that's also the whole workout. And then I got to go.
Oh, absolutely. I know it's like you can kind of tell the difference too, and it's like someone's just kind of like hunched over on the chest press machine, just kind of doodling on their phone versus like they're getting the actual workout in.
Yeah, at that point I get creative and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let them do them. I'm gonna find out what else I can do instead. If there's a machine for it, I can do it with a dumbbell, I'm sure. But that I do like I used to like dwell on that and be like, really, bro? But now I'm just like, whatever, 2021, let's go. Figure out something else. I don't have time to like look at you.
Well, when you're out on the road and when you're in the gym, what do you tend to listen to most?
Oh my goodness. It's such a random variety. Okay. I have a lot of international music that I listen to. So I'll either listen to dancehall or some Serbian. I have this like, I don't know if you're aware, but Serbian like pop and rap music and dance music is super pumping. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but I was playing it in the gym the other day and I've never lifted so hard in my life. What's it called? I have a whole playlist now called Serbia. I have a couple of Serbian friends from when I used to bartend in Manhattan. There used to be a bar on 33rd and 3rd that was just like, everyone there spoke Serbian except for me. So I got really immersed in the culture. And there's this one song that's stuck in my head all the time called Plesi by Voyage and Jay Fado. And it was just like, I feel like such a gangster and I'm lifting and I'm like, yo, I don't know what they're saying, but it's great. So any kind of international music with a good downbeat, or I mean, I listen to American music too, but French, Serbian, and dancehall.
I mean, I'll have to keep my ears out for some what did you say, Serbian pop music?
Serbian, yeah, pop, rap. It's got this awesome influence from Dubai that they cross-reference, and it's really, really hot.
I mean, personally, I like to add a little international flavor to my workout playlists too, and just playlists in general. Like one of my favorite things is J-rap or Japanese punk. Like the Japanese
Ooh,
punk, especially like when you're having a lift day, it's so hard hitting that it just kind of pumps you through each rep. Like you just feel unstoppable.
I'm gonna have to check that out. What's it called? You said
Japanese punk, just the general genre,
Japanese
but
punk.
like
Okay.
really, it just really pumps the blood up.
Oh, look, I'm always down for new music. That's like one of my favorite things. Anytime I'm getting to know someone, I'm like, what would you be listening to right now if I wasn't here? Put on your music. Let me hear. Let me hear your soul.
Now, if you could choose any superpower, what would you choose and why?
Oh man, I don't know if it's considered a superpower because I used to answer. Okay, so anytime someone's asked me this, I'm going to give you the answer I've always given. But then someone told me it doesn't even count as a superpower, so now I'm really deflated about it. I would say being able to speak any language, like in the entire universe. So, like when the aliens come down to Earth, I want to be able to speak their language. When I go to any other country, I want to speak their language. I want to be able to speak to animals. Just like communication
That is
without barriers.
that's absolutely a power. It's like there's no
Right?
if there's no language barriers, it's like, for example, Aquaman. He can talk to fish. That's a huge language barrier.
Exactly. Okay, good. I'm glad you agree. It is a power. It's a superpower.
I mean, on top of that too, just the practicality of being able to like travel anywhere you want and being able to converse with people and being able to get around.
Oh yeah, it's useful.
Now you
I've been
mentioned.
trying it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you please.
No, I was gonna say I've been trying to make that superpower come true. Anytime I like when I was immersed in the bar working with all of my Serbian friends, like I actually went to Serbia and learned some Serbian and like tried to keep a little bit of nuggets so that I have that in my back pocket. Anywhere I travel or any group of people I associate with that speak another language, I'm always like picking their brain and trying to learn, like teach me that, teach me this, because language I'm just completely obsessed with. So I was just gonna say I'm working on making that superpower a reality.
Oh, bless you. I mean, it's a lot of dedication to really keep on the language. Just trying to keep on learning a new language. Like I remember in my head at the beginning of this pandemic, I was like, all right, I want to come out of it learning Japanese and being able to go to Japan because I really want to go see that Super Nintendo World in Universal Japan. So, you know,
Yes.
after 2 weeks, truth be told, I completely dropped it for the next thing.
It's hard, man. It's hard when you're not there too.
Oh,
Like in the wait, were you in Japan and trying to learn it?
oh no, I'm here in the U.S.
Right. Okay. Okay. That's what, like if you had gone there and said, "Screw it, I'm just going to go and learn," like I bet you would have absorbed it a little differently. That's what I've been noticing. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Serbia and try to.
I mean, I've never actually kind of like quantified it that way. I always figure like, all right, I'm gonna have to learn it ahead of time so I can go there and be confident about it. But then, you got just day-to-day stuff going on, so you can't always be
Yeah.
learning language.
Yeah. Definitely not. I'm still working on. I have like my little Duolingo app that I pay for, and it bugs me every day. It sends me little notifications. Do you have 5 minutes to study? I'm like, oh, I don't right now, but okay. Thanks for the reminder. I'll find it. I'll find 5 minutes.
Well, earlier in the interview, you brought up QT's dog, Buttercup, but do you have
Yes.
any pets of your own at home?
Oh my goodness. I do. I have a cat, but she's not with me right now. I'm currently like, I'm traveling so much and like in between residences right now. So my mom is holding my cat for me in Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, she's an old little fluff ball.
Oh, those are, in my opinion, those are some of my favorite kind of cats.
Me too.
Now, to cap this one off, we have to bring up, say, a little bit of an old time debate. But are you Team Bret Hart or Team Shawn Michaels?
Wait a minute. I'm why? Why can't this be Team China or Team Beth Phoenix?
You know what? That's a good point. Team China or Team Beth Phoenix?
Oh man, I don't want to bust your balls. I'm sorry, but I love Beth Phoenix and everything that she stands for and her story and the quotes I get from her and the moves she does. And it's like I started off being super inspired by China, and she led me to learn about Beth Phoenix and just her story of like, I was watching her documentary on the network, and she made a quote saying like, if there's anything I could tell my daughter, like, forgive me if I quote this wrong too. I know like this is definitely fact checkable. But like, if you find out that you don't belong somewhere, it's because you weren't supposed to. And just like obviously her in-ring skills inspire me, and her journey and her perseverance and her dedication inspire me. But her philosophy and like what she does outside of the ring and how she thinks outside of the ring is really what I resonate with. And it's a part of one of the gears that helps keep me going, because not everything's going to be what you think it is. Not everywhere that you see yourself is where you're meant to be. And it's just a matter of like working as hard as possible to get to where you think you belong, feel it out, see what you can see, learn what you can learn, know what you can know. And then like going back to the drawing board and adjusting from there. And I hadn't really had a role model in wrestling that I could really lean on in terms of like, because there's so much more than just in the ring. It's almost like when I was doing bodybuilding competitions, I have no problem going in the gym for 5 hours a day. I love it. I would rather pay rent to go and live in a gym than live in an apartment, honestly. Like, I spend more time out there than anywhere else. So the physical aspect of whatever I'm doing is never what's pulling my teeth. It was always like, speaking in terms of bodybuilding, it's like doing the dieting, how the eating, right? Constantly keeping on discipline with what you're eating and how you're mentally taking care of yourself so that you can keep going to the gym and hitting it hard. So it's like I had the dedication, the motivation, the abilities to physically keep up with wrestling. But now there's a whole other side to that like the insight of just that documentary alone made me say Beth Phoenix is one of my favorite role models in this industry. And yeah, did I answer the question? I can ramble so much.
Absolutely. That is I love those kind of deep answers, just that deeper than, they did the X moves great, or they just had this presentation. It's like hearing that, they kind of go beyond just like the in-ring presentation is something I love to hear.
Oh, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's only what people see. Like her being vulnerable enough to let the world in on like her whole story. And I know a lot of wrestlers do that, but like getting in on her story was like, I don't know why, it just hit me different. And I was like, I'm going to cling on to her. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to learn more about her and how she thinks, how she moves, how she experienced things, and how she handled situations in her life.
Ashley, thank you so much for sharing your answer, and thank you for joining us today. If there's anywhere we can find you online and support you, please let the people know. The floor is all yours.
Thank you so much. Yes, right now I am on Instagram and Twitter primarily. My Instagram handle is at Ashley D'Amboise, and the Twitter is same, but it's at Ashley_D'Amboise. I'm on Facebook too, but I really, really don't check it. So that's about it right now. I'm working on a YouTube channel. Stay tuned.
Oh, most definitely will. Ashley, thank you again. And thank you all for listening to another exclusive interview here on Pro Wrestling Ponderings. I'm James Lascuola, and I will see you all on the next one.